Describe an activity that made you feel tired. You should say when and where it took place, why you took part in it, what the activity was, and explain why it made you feel tired. Here's a Band 9 answer for the IELTS Speaking Part 2. One activity that truly made me feel exhausted was a recent trek one undertook with a close friend. I'm not particularly athletic, but I had always considered myself reasonably fit. However, this trek to Vaishno Devi, a renowned Hindu temple located in Jammu and Kashmir, really shattered that illusion. My friend, who is deeply religious, invited me to join him on this spiritual journey. The temple is situated 12 kilometers from Katra, and the route to the temple requires you to walk from Katra onwards. People of all ages, from young children to elderly individuals in their 80s or 90s, make this trek every year, so one initially didn't anticipate much difficulty. I thought it would be a relatively easy journey, and I was looking forward to the walk, especially after a long car ride. However, my enthusiasm quickly turned to discomfort and regret when the trek began. The first 2 kilometers were fine, but after that, my body started to feel the strain. My ankles and feet began to ache, and I realized I was woefully unprepared for this physical challenge. I asked my friend if we could take a break, but he insisted that we needed to reach the temple before nightfall, so we couldn't afford to stop. The only designated rest stop was at the halfway mark, where there's another small temple. As we continued, the fatigue only worsened. By the time we reached the 5-kilometer point, I was struggling to keep going, and my legs felt like they were made of lead. Despite wanting to quit, my friend encouraged me to push on, and somehow, I made it to the halfway mark. At that point, I was completely drained and decided I would stay behind while my friend continued the rest of the journey alone. However, he wasn't having any of it and persuaded me to keep going. After a brief break, we started again, but after another 500 meters, I was miserable once more. At this point, I really felt like giving up. But my friend kept motivating me, reminding me of the spiritual significance of the journey. Honestly, I don't know how I managed to finish the trek, but somehow, one did. When we finally reached the temple, I was completely wiped out, physically and mentally. I had never felt so exhausted in my life. That experience left a lasting impression on me. It made me realize how unfit I had become, especially due to the sedentary lifestyle I had adopted because of my studies. I knew that if I could get so tired at such a young age, it would only get worse as I grew older. That day, I made a firm decision to start working on my fitness to avoid feeling helpless and exhausted in the future. Here's a Band 9 answer for the IELTS Speaking Part 3 follow-up questions. 1. Does studying and learning make people tired today? Yes, studying and learning can indeed make people tired today, but for reasons that are often beyond the traditional concept of physical exhaustion. In many cases, studying has become a task driven by the need to perform well academically, often leading to stress and burnout. Most students today study primarily for grades rather than out of genuine interest or a desire to learn. This pressure to achieve marks and meet expectations can make the process of learning feel like a chore rather than an enriching experience, which, in turn, leads to fatigue. The emphasis on rote memorization and exams rather than conceptual understanding has made studying mentally exhausting for many students. 2. When do people usually feel tired? People generally feel tired when they push themselves beyond their physical or mental limits, which can vary from person to person. Some people may feel fatigued after a long day of mental work, such as studying or problem solving, while others may feel drained after engaging in physical activities. For instance, someone who leads a sedentary lifestyle may feel tired after a short walk or basic chores, whereas an athlete might find a 10 kilometers run more of a warm-up. Therefore, fatigue is subjective and depends on an individual's physical condition and daily routine. 3. What do you think about striving for learning and striving for sports? Striving for learning and striving for sports are two distinct forms of effort, each with its unique challenges and rewards. In my case, I was fortunate enough not to have to strive much for learning. I was naturally inclined towards academics and picked up concepts fairly quickly. However, sports required a lot of perseverance and effort. I remember spending hours practicing after school, and despite my dedication, I struggled to perform well initially. The learning curve in sports was much steeper, but once I succeeded, the sense of accomplishment was incredibly satisfying. Ultimately, both learning and sports require commitment, but the satisfaction derived from overcoming challenges in sports is often more exhilarating because success doesn't come easily. 4. Do people have fewer holidays now than in the past? In fact, people generally have more holidays now compared to the past. However, it may not always feel that way. The shift from joint to nuclear family structures has played a significant role in how holidays are experienced. In joint families, responsibilities such as household chores were shared, so individuals could enjoy their holidays with fewer tasks hanging over their heads. In contrast, today's nuclear families often have to juggle all household responsibilities themselves, which can make even weekends or holidays feel more like a continuation of regular work. So, while we technically have more holidays, the way we manage our time has changed, and many people find it difficult to unwind. 5. What are the differences between feeling tired after studying and after exercising? The primary difference between feeling tired after studying and after exercising lies in the type of fatigue experienced. After studying, the exhaustion is mental. The mind becomes overwhelmed from processing large amounts of information or trying to solve complex problems. This type of fatigue can affect decision-making, concentration, and memory. On the other hand, physical tiredness from exercise is the result of the body exerting itself. Muscles may feel sore, and the body lacks the energy to perform tasks, but the mind often remains alert. While mental fatigue requires relaxation and mental rest, physical tiredness is alleviated by physical recovery, such as resting or stretching. 6. How can people solve the problem that old people easily get tired? There are several ways to address the issue of elderly people getting tired more easily. First, older adults should engage in activities that challenge their minds rather than overly strenuous physical tasks. Keeping the brain active with activities like reading, puzzles, or learning new skills can help maintain mental acuity. Physically, it is essential for older people to maintain a regular exercise routine, such as walking, yoga, or strength training, to preserve muscle strength and stamina. A nutritious diet, rich in vitamins and minerals, can also support energy levels. Additionally, supplements like calcium and vitamin D can help manage age-related deficiencies that contribute to tiredness. By staying physically and mentally active, elderly individuals can reduce the fatigue they experience in daily life. Thanks so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the video and found it helpful. If you did, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. I'd also love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Let me know what you think or if you have any questions. See you in the next video.